Uchechi by name, the CEO of Yukan Farms, Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. I told you that I will be dissecting a topic on how to increase your the number of piglets per liter. Permit me, I will be using a general term because I know that all over Africa they are seeing this video. So yeah, and using term, some people are, some farmers are in the rural areas, and some are not. Some are not a bit enlightened. So permit me to use a general language. What I mean by increasing your litter size is increasing the number of piglets your pigs gives birth to in a time. And also I will be telling you how you can as well allow them to, how you can survive them, you know. Because one thing is for them to give birth, another thing is for you to be able to nurture them, they grow out. And you know that this business, the hallmark, the interest of the farmer is on the piglets. Yes, because the more piglets you have, the more money you make, and the more sustainability you can be able to do, as in regards to your farm and regards to the number of piglets you are going to be producing, you know. And in this topic, there are two categories of pigs I want to talk about. Those ones that have given birth before and the ones that have not given birth at all. The ones that have not given birth are those ones you win from growers, from winners to growers, then to the point where you want to cross them. And that happens within 6 to 7 months old or 8 months old, depending on the weight of that pig. But generally in Africa, you know that Africa, we are somehow, we cut corners and try to manage, and it's not out of the way at all. But sowers that have not given birth before, or pigs that have not given birth before, at 5 months they come on their first heat, and that first heat you must protect it, because you are not going to cross them then. You won't breed them that time. You will give them space, and that space is that you will allow them to come on their second or third heats. That is when you will breed them. And when you have noticed that they have come on heat for the first time, what you do is that you increase their feeding, you increase the quality of their food, and you begin to look at them, because you know that soon you breed them. So you place them on a very good diet. And remember, the hallmark to the number of piglets you produce is giving them good food, balanced diet. Because when you do that, every other hormones will be able to function properly. That is it. There is no two ways about it. You might say, okay, you want to give hormones that will help them to ovulate and do that. But that has a dilapidating effect, because when you continue to give them that hormone, at a point it will no longer work. And if it doesn't work, you begin to see deformities. Yes. And again, the lifespan of that pig will be cut short. If that pig was meant to stay with you for 3 months, or for 3 years, or 4 years before you dispose it, it will stay with you for not up to like 2 years, or maybe below that. So therefore, you must take the natural process, and that natural process is that feed that pig that is about to be crossed for the first time. Feed it very well. When you feed it, when you notice that it's coming to the next heat, you put a boa, that is the male pig, to eat, to mount it. For those of us who are into artificial insemination, when you take your signs, pressing down the back, see the vulva red and all that, then you can come in with your insemination. And that is done. Most times, the eggs are released between the first 72 hours of that heat. So you must make sure that you cross that pig within the first 72 hours of the heat and cross accordingly. Don't cross the pig when the cycle has finished. That is when you begin to see 1 piglet, 2 piglets, 3 piglets. That is taking aside inbreeding. Inbreeding is a situation where you take pigs of the same parents to cross, like a male from the same parents and a female from the same parent of the same litter. You cross them, then that is inbreeding. They might give you a lower number of piglets, but no. What you do is that, assuming you have this family A and family B, you know what I mean by family A and family B? You have piglets from family A, piglets from family B. You use the piglets from the males from the family A to cross the females from family B. Then you will escape inbreeding. But that is apart. That's another topic for another day. But in this one now, we are talking about bringing the pigs, the female one, in a pen for the first time. You give them good food. You allow it to come on the heat. That first time you notice that it's coming on heat, you put the boa. Let the boa remain with that female until the female comes on heat, until the end of the heat. Don't cross the pig once and remove the boa, because if you cross it once, it might not fertilize the eggs immediately. It might be that on the second time it will fertilize, or it might be that 5 might be shaded. Then the next crossing, another 5 will be shaded. That is 10. And again, let me come in with the idea of having a pig to give you 25 piglets, and that. Yes, it works, but that is in the Western world. In the Western world, where they have every other artificial means to sustain the piglets. But in Africa, a lot of us are handicapped. We don't have that facility. So what do? When your pig gives you 10, from 10 upwards, you're okay. So that the pig can be able to cater for the piglets. And with the support you're going to give the piglets. So what I'm saying is that, in essence, is that as soon as you notice that that pig wants to come on heat for the first time, you allow that period to go. The second cycle, you now introduce the boa. Within the 72 hours to that cycle or to that heat, the boa should be able to cross that pig. And when you notice that the pig is heavy, you come in with your multivitamins, and already before you do this, you have already given your medication to your soul. What you give them is that you give them you've treated with antibiotic. You've given ivermectin for the woman. Antibiotic is long acting, and oxytocin, and you give your multivitamin before like 2 weeks to that period. That is flushing. You've already arranged the pig, getting it ready for crossing. As soon as you cross it and you notice that the pig is heavy, what you do is separate it and you maintain your multivitamin and iron. From that period, every month you give your multivitamin and iron. Every month you give your multivitamin and iron, and to the point of delivery. At the point of delivery, 3 to 4 days to delivery, you come in with your pen strep. Your pen strep is an antibiotic that helps you to curb every other effects like stooling and all that. It will assist in a way. Then you deworm the pigs, and as soon as it gets birth, you will see that you have a higher number of piglets. Then for those sowers that you have weaned piglets from them before, and you want to cross them again, to have a maximum litter size in the next crossing is that, one, as soon as you wean the piglets away from the pig, you take it to a point where the pig will recuperate. When I mean recuperation is that we will regain its body system. You know that when they are feeding these piglets, they go down in their size and in everything, because the piglets are feeding from their milk and all that. It will reduce their size. So when you wean them, you allow the pig to settle within 1 month. That 1 month, no disturbance, you just feed with a very good quality food. Even if you are feeding the local feed, which I do, what you do is that you increase the protein content so that pig will recuperate faster. Then you come in with your medication. As soon as you wean the pig, you give your antibiotic. That is long acting. You can give pen strep. If it's pen strep, it's for 3 days. But if it's long acting, it's just once. The meals are like, you can give, depending on the size of the pig, you can give 3 meals, you can give 2 meals. You can give 4 meals, depending on the size of the piglet, of the pig you're going to cross. Then when you take it to where you want to cross it, prior to that time you want to cross, you must have taken notice of maybe the pig trying to behave as if he's jumping to another pen, or the vulva is red. When you look at it, you see the vulva very red and soggy. You know that this pig is on it. But before then, as you wean the pig from that, as you wean the piglets from that pig and is on the point of recuperation, you give your medication so that it will not have to do with the end point when you want to cross it. It's not when you want to cross it, you will come and give your medication. No. You give your medication like 3 weeks before you cross it. What I mean by medication is that you bring your antibiotic, you bring your ivermectin for the woman, you bring your multivitamin and iron. You inject the pig, then you allow the pig to settle. So you feed. As soon as it approaches, when you wean it, on the 3rd day, the pig will come on heat, but don't cross. Be very watchful. Within the 3rd to 7 days of weaning a piglet from a pig, it will come on heat, don't cross. Allow it to settle to the next section. Because if you do that, that is a half circle. That half circle, I have done that experiment time without number. I brought 4 TN female pigs and a large white 4 female pigs. I divided them into two. These two, I cross them immediately, I win them. While the other two, I allow them to settle for like 1 month. The ones that settled for like 1 month gave a very high number of piglets. Why these ones that I crossed immediately gave limited number of piglets, like 4. So I now concluded that yes, when you allow them to recuperate and you give your medication, that medication flushes the system, help to change the hormonal reasoning of that pig, and within the system it will change. And when it changes, it will come on a hit on the 3rd day when you win the piglet. It will come on hit. And after that day, you will not cross it that day. You allow it for the next period. As soon as it comes on the next hit, in fact, after the first 15 days or 10 days of winning that pig, you introduce the boa to be with the pig, to be with that pig. And when it's there with the pig, within the next 21 days, the pig will come on another hit. Then, within the next 0 to 72 hours of the new heat, you cross that pig. It will give you a very high number of piglets. Follow me on my page, and you will be seeing more. In fact, we'll be talking more on pig nutrition and how to reduce the cost of feeding. Thank you very much. I remain here.